Thank you. Excellent. Um, so what lessons do you think that teachers, students, citizens, maybe those policymakers creating constitutions today or in the near future, what can we learn through using the Quill Project?
I hope people will get excited by the idea of exploring really the level of detail that went into the creation of America's Constitution. Um, in our model, just in terms of number of decisions made, there's well over 1,000 opportunities that the convention had to approve or reject particular forms of language. There are, an almost equal number of amendments to text that are sort of proposed in different ways. So that they really are working through the detail of these documents. If you think that the American Constitution is about 4,500 words long, and in order to model that process of negotiation digitally, it takes us about 2,500 events in our timeline to model all of this. That really gives you a sense of just the level of detail. But I hope we've presented it in a way that is informing rather than overwhelming. And what we've really found that excites us very much is that students of all ages are able to use the tools that we've put together to see how particular language evolves. And, rather than having to spend months in college trying to get to grips with difficult records, we really can put the questions that they're interested in on the screen and show the context in which that kind of language emerges and what were the debates going on when that language emerges. I mean, even something as simple as showing, if there's a controversial speech that they're reading, well, did that speech carry the day? Did the vote that follows that speech actually adopt the position of the speaker that they're quoting? Because sometimes when you read narrative accounts of the convention, of course, the narrators tend to pick out the have said, but often those speeches don't seem to have carried the mood of the room. So we can really help students work through how the process of debate unfolded and get a sense of, well, how did the back and forth work? And I think for some of the more advanced students, one of the points that I hope they'll start to understand is that it's not the case that, a point was raised, it was debated, the wisdom of a particular decision was decided, and then the convention moved on. Often, half a dozen arguments are in play at any one time about why something might or might not be a good idea. And you can't quite tell when the final vote happens exactly which of those arguments wins the day, because that's not really how humans tend to debate each other in these settings. You tend to get people throwing a lot of arguments into the ring and then taking a vote, and it's not as neat and tidy sometimes as we might wish. And I think it can be quite exciting to try and put yourself back in the mindset of people sitting in the room. And of course, in many instances, although Madison records quite a lot of detail about the points made in particular speeches, he's condensing speeches that lasted sometimes for hours to maybe a couple of pages of notes. And again, one of the things that our model can do is help students to, in a way, escape from the idea that Madison has given you a sort of verbatim account of things, and to look much more at the sort of process within which the snippets of information that Madison gives us really sit. So we found when we've worked with students of all ages that they've found things to really get excited about through being empowered really to explore the records for themselves.